Hello and welcome to the Lost and Faded podcast, where we have faded and lost into our movie and film for the week. This week, Smile with me, Byron, and Dan. Welcome back, Dan.
Thanks, Byron. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're here. We're watching Smile just in time for the second one. Are you hyped for the second one?
I would say I'm not hyped for the second one, especially after watching the first one.
I'm hyped for the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Even after kind of rewatch.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes, but
Yeah. You want to read the synopsis?
yeah, I got the synopsis ready for us. All right. So after witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. As an overwhelming terror begins taking over her life, Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is a horrifying new reality, honestly. All right, jumping straight into it. We see Rose's mom on the bed, dead.
Herself.
Yeah. Yeah. She killed. Wait.
Are you confused by it?
No, we can't say that.
Oh, damn.
So what could
Okay, cut that.
what could- Her mom unalived herself on the bed,
The bottle of pills.
bottle of pills, sadly. And there's Rose witnessing it, just standing there. And it's pretty ominous. It's something. Then we cut to her working. Was she napping at her job? Did she wake up from a nap from her job?
I'm not sure about that.
Either way, she was at her job, and she's tired. She's just constantly working. She's a workaholic.
Yeah.
She visits her patient, Carl.
She seems depressed.
Yeah, she seems a little depressed.
Yeah.
Probably because she's having nightmares about her mom.
Yeah. So I do think right off the bat, this movie is very it's definitely about, cut that.
Okay, well.
Right off the bat, there's this trend in horror movies of definitely from the Babadook, where that was a starting point where every horror movie has to be about trauma
Yeah, it's all very traumatizing.
or about something. And so right off the bat, I don't know.
You're sick of the trauma.
I was not sold that it was gonna be good, based off just because if you think about, not to go right into comparing it to other movies,
Okay.
but if you think about not Hereditary, Midsummer, how that starts with almost the same exact.
Yeah, I would say Midsummer is more horrifying.
Yeah.
I feel like it definitely plays in more, especially with the phone call there.
Yeah.
And we don't really see much of Rose's reaction to her mom's death other than standing there.
Yeah. And see, that's why I think just the start alone made me nervous about the movie, because then I was like, this already feels like a downgrade of a better horror movie.
I guess you could say that. It definitely takes things from other horror movies,
Yeah.
like Midsummer, It Follows, stuff like that. I mean, I feel like it's a lot more. It works more in how unsettling it feels. It's
Yeah.
very tension-filled, anxiety-filled. This movie makes me very anxious.
I would say I was anxious at the beginning, during the opening hospital scene. And I think as the movie goes on, I lost. And I think because the drama wasn't selling me,
The drama's kind of weak.
the drama was weak.
It's a little weak. There are some good performances though. I think the first victim that we see, she the one that first brings the monster to
Her, patient.
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not her first patient. The first patient was Carl, who is just having a manic episode and he's
Yeah.
freaking out, and she
Mostly normal
yeah,
seeming dude.
Yeah, she deals with him normally, but he's gonna play more of a role later in the movie. But then she gets this emergency call right before she was like about to leave to go home because she was working from like late night to early morning. She's wild.
Workaholic.
She gets this emergency patient who is freaking out about this being that's following her that is constantly smiling. I think she's giving a really good performance.
Yeah.
I think that first girl,
She was good.
she was freaking out.
She's the girl who's in all of the marketing.
Yeah, she's in all of
She's the one
marketing.
smiling.
And I'm pretty sure there was a short film that this was based off of that she starred in.
Yeah.
And the director brought her back for the scene. I was like, she kind of killed it. I was like, I'm surprised she wasn't just the main girl.
Yeah, she could have been.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the main actress for Rose is decent. There's points that she just doesn't sell it.
Yeah. I also just thought, I don't know, she almost like wasn't relatable at all. I mean, she like was like but I also just nothing about her was compelling before the smile stuff started happening.
No.
And so I was like, I don't really care.
We didn't really get to know a lot about her before the shit starts happening. So it feels weird. And it's like everyone else has seen this different person, but we just seen the same character that we've been following this entire time.
Yeah.
So we don't notice how she's acting more crazy and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we do notice the stuff she goes through.
But maybe that could be the point, though, I guess. But because then, like, later, like, nobody believes her. And that's a big point in the movie, is that, like, nobody believes her.
And she doesn't make a good argument for herself in all the scenes.
She acts very crazy.
Yeah. And so,
did you like her first patient getting killed?
Yeah, that was a good one. I like the scare. I like her freaking out on the floor, and she's like all like turned around, like bent, like I don't know how to explain it.
When she like falls on the ground.
Yeah, she's like freaking out. She's like her spine's like weird. I don't know how to explain it.
It's very like possessed by devil, body moving in ways that it's not supposed to.
Yeah. And I thought that was dope. And then the cutaway and then the back to her just standing there and to the extra smile. That's very nice. That was a very nice opening one.
I was pretty freaked out. That first kill had me pretty freaked out. The knife cutting all the way through her face.
Now, I will admit that the later stuff isn't the best.
Yeah. I feel like this movie in general does not have a lot of good kills.
No, I think it's the first one and the last one.
Yeah,
that matters in kill wise. So then,
so she killed.
God damn it, Dan!
Damn.
So
her patient gets smiled.
Her patient gets smiled.
Yeah, she gets smiled, and then
that's fucked up. But yeah.
That's
a good one. Get smiled. We might carry that on to the second one.
Smiled. Don't get smiled. Okay, so she gets smiled, and then she passes on the smile.
Yeah, to Rose. And Rose is like, all right, I need to go home after all that. And she goes home, and she goes and drinks a bottle of wine. And this is the patient's standing there, like,
oh yeah,
in like the background.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, if it wasn't like, it was kind of hard to see on my like TV when I was looking at it.
Oh yeah.
But
I have a pretty nice TV. So
yeah, you know what I mean.
I didn't have that.
All right, we didn't need to hear all that, Dan.
It's new, actually.
Go on, let's go.
From Costco.
But it was. I like that scare. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like it wasn't like they were just lingering on her, just standing there. Like this isn't right. What's gonna happen? She's just standing there. She smiled. Is she smiling? No, I think she was.
I honestly can't remember. They're usually smiling.
Yeah, they usually. There's no
at the time they're smiling. That's what I did. And okay, that's how the movie also lost me in the beginning because, like, I feel like I just knew all the jump scares are just gonna be people smiling. And like
Not all of them. Not all.
most of them though.
Most of them are.
A lot of them are just people smiling.
They're just there's people smiling, freaking her out. But I mean, not all of them are like that. I feel like there's a few scares that I'm like, all right, those are pretty decent. But so she gets freaked out about that, and
in her kitchen.
She drops her wine glass, and her boyfriend tells her, which it's A-Train.
A-Train.
I don't know what his actor's name is.
A-Train. Everyone.
We can just call him A-Train. Which, after The Boys, I can't take him serious.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. He definitely is like a, I don't know.
I feel like he kind of acts the same in a lot of this stuff.
Like where he's doing the bit where he's like angry but trying not to yell. I feel like that's his like thing. Like he always is like angry. Like he's always simmering.
Yeah, he's very simmering.
Yeah.
And
he hates her basically, right?
He wants to live a normal life. He wants her to get over her trauma.
Yeah, no distractions.
He doesn't even want to dive into it. He's just like, you go to your therapist, you deal with that. I don't even want to hear about it type shit.
Yeah.
And he's kind of supportive in ways, but not really too much.
Yeah.
No. So he's like, are you okay? And then she tells him about how the patient got smiled.
She smiled herself.
And then A-Train's like, oh, I'm sorry about this. And he's not supportive at all. He's barely comforting. And he's like, do you not want to go to the dinner with your sister? And she's like, no, we have to go. We have this plan. We get to this dinner with the sister. Oh, the sister does not stop talking.
The sister's the worst.
She's the worst. Her boyfriend he's even worse. I don't know. He's just like too agreeable type shit.
Yeah.
Where he's like, yeah. And then he's trying to like tell Rose that she should be a private doctor and she should just be trying to make as much money as possible.
Which they have a nice house.
Yeah, they have a really nice house. I don't remember what A-Train did, but
no. But they had money.
They had a really nice house, a really good house. They also have a cat mustache. We have to talk about the cat mustache. And so that dinner with the sister goes horrible because Rose forgets that it's her nephew's birthday on Saturday. And they had a party. They're going to have a party for him.
That I did think was rude.
Yeah, I was like, can you not remember?
Write it down.
You have one sister.
Yeah.
This is your only family right now.
Right. One nephew. That's all. You forgot his birthday? Come on.
Insane. And she's just like, I gotta work. Which she's just saying that.
Mm-hmm.
She has a problem. She just wants to go to work and avoid her life.
Yeah.
That's literally all she wants to do.
She's very depressed. And I definitely think that's supposed to be the metaphor of like the trauma and like she's depressed. And I feel like the smile monster is very much a metaphor for like being depressed and just having trauma.
Yeah, it's a metaphor. It's just trauma.
Yeah.
You just say it's trauma. They're just passing along trauma. We'll get to that though.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. And so I'm trying to remember what happens after this dinner scene. Is there another night scene? Because there's a few night scenes.
Yeah, so she gets mad at her
sister. They go home. And this is the one where, is this where I lose the thread a little bit. This is when I start getting a little bored. Because there's a lot of similar scenes to where it's like one's night scene and then just a regular scene. And I want to say it just goes to the next day.
What's the next scare? Because then it's like she goes back to being by herself and she gets scared by someone. Oh, she takes a call in her house.
Yeah, that was the one. They come back home, or she comes back home by herself, and they get a call, or she gets a call, and then she answers the call. She sees the back doors, the back door is open.
Oh,
and so the
alarm goes off.
Close it. Yeah, and like the alarm is going off, and she's like, she answers the security call for the alarm, and the lady's like, "Are you alone?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then the lady's like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Look behind you." And I was just like, "Oh,
That was a pretty
that's a
that was
good one."
scare. I like
They
that.
had the beginning part scares are pretty decent, I say.
And because if you're in that situation, are you?
Are you looking behind?
I don't know. I don't think. I think I would be like her. Like I would not
I'm
be
like,
able to move.
I'm gonna stop playing with me right now.
Like I would be like, I'm never looking behind me.
Would you feel behind yourself?
Definitely not.
Like punch behind you?
No, that's how you lose an arm.
Yeah, yeah. But then she turns around and I think the alarm just goes off again. And then she goes.
Oh no! So she hangs, or she's talking, and things like "look behind you,"
Mhm.
and then she gets there's another call, and then like she's back.
Yeah, and just like she never answered the phone.
Yeah, so she's hallucinating.
Hallucinating.
Yeah.
And so she freaks out. She calls the police. And then her boyfriend comes home with the police all outside. And he's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "I thought there was an intruder or something." And he's already like, "All right, she's getting a little crazy."
Yeah.
And also a mustache went missing. She was trying to look for a mustache too.
It's no good.
No. And then so we get to the next day. She's back at work, which I'm like, why would you go back to work the next day? But
Yeah. Take a day off.
yeah, take a day off, take a week off. But anyway, she goes back.
And her boss is Cal Penn.
Oh yeah, her boss is Calvin. Love him. He's doing a pretty good job. He's a good boss. It feels like he really cares about her.
And
You know, but
I got the feeling that he was kind of being a dick to her.
when
Like, he's like understanding, but I feel like he also gives a layer of, I just need, this is a pain in my butt. Like, I need this to be over.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that, like, kind of towards the beginning, but towards the end, he's like a lot more like, all right, you need to get help type shit. But
Once she starts acting really crazy.
yeah, but so she's back now, and she's like, her sister's on the phone with her. I think she was on the phone with her about about going to the nephew's birthday, and she's
Yeah.
looking out the window, and then she sees someone staring at her, and I was like, it follows.
It follows. I thought the same thing.
I was like, you don't have to do that stuff. Your stuff is just smiling at people. You don't
Yeah.
have to have them staring at her from like the distance. The window.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
So they really kind of, I feel like they steal from two different, I mean, they steal from, not steal, they borrow elements from a couple different horror movies.
Uh-huh.
And I think the prominent ones are The Ring, where it's like,
The spreading of the trauma type shit.
yeah, and you have 7 days. Like, you're going to die in 7 days.
Yeah.
And then they also take a lot from It Follows,
Yeah.
because they take, like, passing it on
Yeah. Passing it on and
to the
like
person.
if it's like kind of following you or whatever. I mean, the smile demon.
And it can appear as anyone.
Yeah, it can appear as anyone that she knows or whatever.
And so I think the first time it shows up, I think it is her mom, but it's at a distance, so it's hard to tell.
Oh, when in the window?
Yeah, in the window.
Maybe. It does appear as the mom a lot. But then,
But so at this point, I'm thinking It Follows, and It Follows did this better. So that's why it's still like really, I don't know.
I feel like they were trying to go for different feels. I feel
Yeah.
like it follows more days type feeling, and you're like trying to figure out the stuff with her. It's unsettling, but it's not like as like anxious as this one. This one's very anxious. There's long like takes on scenes. They like linger on parts.
I think I don't think I was as scared. I don't think
You weren't
It Follows made me more anxious.
really.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because the creature's actually walking towards you all the time.
Yeah. And I also think because in this movie, once you notice that there's smiles in the background
Mm-hmm.
or like in the environment, that's all I could look for.
He was looking for the smile.
That's all I was doing. Like you'd see a road and I'd be like, that's a smile. Then walk in the house, I'd be like, oh, that picture behind them's a smile. Did you notice that?
I wasn't even paying attention to all that.
I think it's just because they show it in the Smile 2 trailer.
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
They're really...
It's going to be a lot more in Smile 2, I'm pretty sure. But, so she's like walking around her in the hospital the next day, and she walks past Carl in his bed. He's just sitting there smiling.
Yeah.
And she walks over, she's like, hey, how you doing, Carl? And he's just sitting there, sitting there staring straight, smiling. Yeah. Which I'm like, walk away.
Yeah. Easy solution.
Walk away. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Were you scared by him at this point?
Not really. Not even when he's like saying you're gonna die. No. I don't think I was too.
See, I wasn't either.
No, because then she like freaked out, and then I like it when it has like the smile creature's actually doing something.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, you're gonna die, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I go and actually moves around or like actually tries to scare her in like an actual fun way. But when it's just the dude standing there.
Yeah.
With a smile. No.
Yeah. At a certain point, it's like some characters' smiles are scarier than others.
Yeah.
Some aren't that scary. Some was just like, okay.
I wonder if they like, during the casting thing, they were like, let me see your smile.
I'm sure they asked every single one.
Yeah.
Like, you got to show your smile.
And then so she freaks out. She calls her coworkers to like take Carl down.
Oh yeah,
because she calls like a code.
She calls like an emergency code, and they kick his ass.
Yeah, his ass. And it just cuts to her with her boss.
Yeah, he's like, what the hell was that?
And I was like, what's going on? And she's like, I must have just overreacted to something. I'm like, they have cameras. They see you just standing there freaking out and then calling for help while he's just laying in bed. Yeah, it cuts to Carl was just laying in bed just normally. Yeah, he was just laying in bed normally, and he wasn't doing anything. He was just in bed.
Yeah, because everything for her is pretty much a hallucination.
Yeah, like half of it's a hallucination. At this point, I'm like, what can you trust is real, Rose? Well, then, so he's like, you gotta go back home.
See, I don't know if I'm as convinced though.
About what?
Because I'm like, the things that aren't real are the people that are standing there smiling at you. Like she should have picked on that real fast. I don't think she picked up on that fast enough.
I don't think it's not always like that though.
Yeah.
No. There's a lot of parts where
I mean, I guess, but it's always like, no, you're right. You're right.
There is a point where it's just like once someone starts smiling, you should be like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
But she goes back home. We go back to another night sequence. This time, this is when she wakes up in the middle of the night from her, I think a nightmare or something. And she goes on her computer and she's listening to the audio from the patient.
Oh, this is a pretty good scare.
Yeah. She's listening to the audio from the patient,
from when she smiled, when her first patient smiled herself.
Yeah, when the first patient smiled herself. And so she's listening, and then we get a good jump scare from the mom, and then she freaks out, and the boyfriend comes out, he's like, are you okay? What's going on? And then I forgot what her explanation is, but she's like, I'm sorry, I'm good, I'm okay. And then I think she goes back to bed, and then it goes to the next day.
Right? Yeah. That's a good jump scare, though.
That was a really good one.
Because she's like, she keeps scrubbing. And you kind of think she's going to learn something. Like, I was pretty convinced. I was like, oh, she's going to hear the smile monster, like, whisper some lore she needs to know. And so I'm kind of like, and that's like, oh.
Do you think we learned too much about the smile monster?
No. And I don't know if I want to get into it now, but I would say that is my problem is that I feel like
We don't know enough.
I feel like it was written. We could have known more, but they were like, we need to save this stuff for the sequel.
Oh, okay.
That's how I feel. Not just the sequel, but I feel like they probably have 4 movies, 4 or 5, that they're going to roll out all this lore, and it's going to be, I don't know. I didn't think we learned enough.
Yeah. I feel like we learned a decent amount. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was more, maybe I'm just thinking more of it like It Follows, or we know nothing about the creature. And I feel like that helped a lot with, because the more we know, the more we're going to question shit.
And honestly, the more you know, the less scary it is.
Yeah, true that too.
Yeah.
So then I think it cuts to her going to her therapist.
Surprise therapy session.
Yeah, surprise therapy session.
Well, she surprises the therapist.
Oh yeah, she surprised the
There's another surprise therapy session. The therapist surprises her.
And so she's there, and she's like trying to explain her situation without sounding crazy. And then the therapist is trying to go deeper with whatever she's talking about, and she's deflecting. And then she's like, "Can I just get more meds?"
Yeah, she tells her. She tells her, like, I want this prescription.
Literally. And the doctor was like, "No."
Yeah.
And then so she's like, "You should go to your nephew's birthday, change of pace." So she goes and she buys the gift.
What do you think about the therapist character?
She's all right. Do you like her?
I feel like,
she's just there for the scare.
yeah, but I feel like she's also there
To
like she does need to talk to her therapist.
Yeah. Are you saying she's also kind of a mirror to Rose from like the beginning? Because when she was talking to Carl in the beginning, she was saying the same stuff the therapist is saying to her about like, this is all like in your head, everything's good type shit.
Yeah.
Like you're all good.
Yeah.
But now that's getting said to Rose, and Rose is like, I'm not crazy.
That would be frustrating. Yeah.
Frustrating. So she buys her nephew's.
The therapist though is right though. She's like, "Are you sure this isn't just about your mom?" And like it kind of is.
It is.
I mean, it's not. It isn't. It's is it?
Because she's held on to that trauma.
Yeah.
Which we get there when the sister had the dinner and they were all talking. They were bringing up the old house that they had.
Yeah.
And Rose doesn't want to sell it because she's just holding on to the trauma. Which I'm like,
see, that's
sell that fucking house. We see it later, but sell that.
Yeah, that's a bad house. It's dilapidated. But yeah, that's where I think too. I'm not sold. Like it's almost the metaphor is like so in your face. Like there's no way you're gonna miss that this is the metaphor.
Yeah, true.
And I'm just like, and it almost doesn't leave any room for interpretation.
Yeah, I feel like it would work better if it had more payoff.
Yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't have. We'll get more into that later. But then so she gets back home again, and I think this is another night sequence where she's hearing her mom like talk to her while she's in the bed. Do you remember that? I remember this. There's like a scene where she's in the bed and she's lying there. I forgot if she woke up or not. But her mom's like calling for her like when she was dying.
Oh, does she have like a flashback to being a child? Or no?
I don't think so. But she might actually, yeah. But like she's laying in bed and then it turns and like Rose is like away from the door frame because that's where the sound's coming from. And then it shows the door frame and the mom standing there just as she supposes like not trying to look at the fucking monster. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. that would be it for me. I would be like, just take me at that point.
Yeah.
Smile me.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I could handle the smile monster.
You think, I,
Just like don't just sit there. Like don't do anything.
but it's gonna do stuff to
I guess it does. Yeah, eventually.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know it's all fake at a certain point.
I
You have to
guess
believe yourself.
you're gonna keep your eyes closed. You're like, I believe I believe. And so it goes to the next day. The nephew's
The birthday party.
birthday party.
Did you catch that she is wearing a dark dress and that everyone else is wearing very bright colors?
No, I didn't catch that. Oh, foreshadowing.
Well, I just think it was like, I don't know. And see, this to me was the movie being I just feel like other movies have done this better where it was like, okay, she's in a room full of happy people and she's depressed.
I think there's a lot of plays with color in this movie because I want to say the sister at points is wearing mostly pink.
Yeah, she's always in pink. She's always like decked out in bright pink. And she's blonde. She doesn't even look like her sister.
And Rose is mostly, I think, in blue, maybe. I gotta double check. Maybe not blue, but like an opposite color. I remember there was a lot of talk about color in this movie.
Yeah, she's always dressed in like gray and like darker undertones.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. And so she's at the party. And she has this big gift for her nephew. Dude, why do we have to do this?
This one hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
I knew.
Did you have to pause for a minute and be like,
No, I'm not a coward.
yeah.
Um,
Hey, I didn't pause either. I just want to let everyone know.
Like I knew the dead cat was coming.
Yeah. Because it went missing.
Yeah,
You're like, okay, where the fuck's the cat at? It's dead.
yeah. Maybe check the box.
Yeah.
Or don't give the kid a random box.
I want to know the logistics of, so did she just already have it in the box and then she not check the box and did it? Or like, how much did she hallucinate about this whole thing?
Yeah.
Like, how did Mustache die? Did she kill Mustache?
Did she kill Mustache, or did this is the smile monster an actual entity, or is it purely in her mind? Which would mean she did kill Mustache.
That's what I'm confused about it too. I feel like it has to be in her mind. So maybe something she was doing. She thought, I don't know.
I feel like they didn't show it.
Yeah, they didn't show. I feel like they should have
They didn't have much thought to it.
explain more. Yeah, no.
You know.
And so yeah, the nephew opens the gift and it's the dead cat, and then Rose is freaking out because she didn't know where Mustache was.
And this is another example of she's like everyone's disturbed by her.
Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're crazy," and she's freaking out.
And she's like,
I'm like, at a point, I'm like, she looks like she doesn't know what's happening, guys.
so none of you are gonna believe her? Like this dead cat showed up?
No, they're just like, nah, you read the fucking dead cat. You're a weirdo. And then so she's freaking out, and then she sees this lady sitting in a chair, and she's smiling, and she's like, it's her. And I think it cuts to them, and they don't see anyone in the chair.
It just looks like a normal woman.
Maybe I think it's empty.
Empty.
And then so she's backing up and she falls into a glass table and she's bleeding from her arms and shit. Everyone's freaking out. And it cuts to her in the hospital. And her boss walks in.
Yeah, her same hospital. And when she falls in the glass, I'm like, that's another moment. That was pretty good. The glass shards in her arm. That's where still nobody's like helping her. They're all just like, this woman's crazy.
Yeah, literally. And it's like, even if I don't think they should have been helping her.
Yeah. Especially her sister. Like, come on.
It's wild because I feel like no one's tried to help her at all. Other than the boss being like, take time off work, chill out. But other than that, no one's really helping her.
And even I feel like he only does that because
he wants a safe face.
Yeah. He doesn't want bad shit happening at work.
Yeah.
I respect that.
So the boss comes in And he's like, I heard about it. You okay? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I'm good. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Ha ha ha. And he's like, I'm worried about you. You should get some help. And she just, no. And then so she's driving home with her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, has she started reconnecting with her ex at this point? Probably.
So we skipped over a bit. There was a detective part after the first smile victim smiled herself. There was two detectives talking about it, and one detective was really just saying, this person's crazy. That's all basically what he was saying.
Yeah.
He wouldn't listen to Rose at all. And then the other dude was her ex-boyfriend, who we didn't know in that scene that it was her ex-boyfriend, but then he came back a day later, and he was like seeing if she was okay after the first smile victim. And she was like, I'm good. You don't need to check up on me.
And like he's the first one to actually genuinely seem to want to help her.
He actually there was someone that actually tried. But then, so she's on the ride home, or they get home, her and A-Train. I'm gonna keep calling him A-Train. But she's trying to explain to him everything, and she was like, I don't know what's happening. There's these people smiling at me. I think I'm being haunted. And he's like, you're talking about ghosts and shit? You sound crazy.
Ooh.
And he's like, what happened to Mustache? Did you kill Mustache? R.I.P. Mustache.
R.I.P. Mustache. Pouring out.
And then,
yeah, he's gone. He's completely, he doesn't.
Yeah. He's like, your mom was crazy, so you might have inherited that. So he's like, I'm out of here. I'm gone.
And I think that's like the last we see him, too.
No.
He never comes back.
We do see him again.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
A-Train?
Yeah. I won't get to that part, though.
All right.
And so I think this is when she goes to her ex.
Yeah, then she calls him or something, or she has evidence she wants to investigate, and she ends up at his apartment.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need a favor.
We might have skipped over her going to one of the victims, one of the smile victims' family member.
Oh,
the wife. I forgot how she got the info about she looked it up herself.
Yeah.
So she goes and finds one of the victim's wife. The victim before the first smile victim. The smile victim that...
The original person, the original smile.
No, I don't even think you can call that the original smile. The first victim got their smile from.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got their smile from. That's a good phrase.
Yeah.
And so they go to that victim's wife's house, and she's explaining how he had a witness his brother's death in the past. So him and Rose have a link of just witnessing a family member's death in the past. That's what the trauma or the smile monster links itself to.
Yeah, trauma.
Yeah, it causes the victim to give other people trauma that they link to past trauma that they already have, type shit. And so, yeah, it's passed around. One smile victim in a horrifying way in front of another one.
Here's where I think...
Can I say it again?
Yes.
God damn it. Fuck.
It's probably far enough for the episode.
The smile victim unsmiles themselves in front of the next victims. That's how they get the smile.
Yeah. So I think this is where it's not where It Follows does it better, because in this where It Follows is a trail of people where it's you have sex with someone and then the monster's coming after them.
Yeah.
And where in this one it's
God damn it, Dan.
You smile yourself up in front of somebody and then they're the next victim to get smiled.
Yeah.
That is like, they should have caught, like, you should know, like,
Yeah.
like when it's like sex, where it's like, it's kind of like a rumor that you like it's a harder path to follow than, oh, this guy saw somebody smile himself. This guy saw somebody smile himself. Oh, this guy also saw somebody smile himself. Like,
Yeah, they should saw the connection.
yeah, somebody, and I guess they do, but I'm like, this is.
It took a little bit more because she had to bring it to her ex-boyfriend who was a cop. And then they're witnessing all the different victims. We're probably just going to have to blurt those out.
That's fine.
But, and so they'll
We say something and then you can edit. Like I can say,
no, it's okay. It's okay.
you can edit instead of a beep, I can say, he smiled himself, or she smiled himself.
No, it's okay. That's a lot more.
I don't know. No. Not even do that.
And so she tells him all this info, and then try to remember what's next. I think she stays the night at his house, and then she goes back.
Well, she freaks out. Like, even though he's believing her, she like freaks out because I think part of it, I don't know, like she's not used to people believing her, or like she has trouble like trusting people. So
she still didn't trust him. I forgot about that.
Because then she leaves, and I think, oh, maybe she just comes back the next day though. I don't know. There's a scene in between, I think, though, isn't there?
I feel like there is a scene in between. There's all these scenes are too similar.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's like 2-hour runtime for this movie. No, it's not it.
Yeah, they could have trimmed a little.
Cut it down.
Because I'm like, okay, so the next scene is probably, her. It's the next morning. She comes back home, and that's when we see A-Train again with the therapist. Oh, and that's a surprise therapy session.
Surprise therapy.
Because they're like, "You're crazy. What's going on?" And then the surprise therapy goes wrong because Rose is surprised and she's freaking out. She's like, "What are you doing?" And then she's yelling at A-Train.
Does she try to explain it again to them?
I don't think so. I think she gets mad at A-Train.
Yeah, because he's like saying that, like, you're talking about ghosts.
Yeah, and he's like, "You're crazy. You're acting crazy." And she's like, "You just want a perfect person. You want a perfect life. You don't care about my trauma." And I'm like, he doesn't care about your trauma.
No, he doesn't. And I'm like, why did he date her?
And the therapist is just sitting there like, "Ooh, awkward." I don't know. It just felt like one situation was just, it wasn't like it was too much for him to handle. He was like, "I gotta go."
Yeah.
But
so she runs out of the house. She's like, "I'm not having this surprise therapy."
And then that's when she goes to her sister, and she's trying to explain the shit to her sister, and the sister.
And she brings all her evidence.
Yeah.
Which is just like pictures of dead people.
And she's like, "Are you crazy?" You're like, "You traumatized my nephew." And then she's like, "You're holding on to all this trauma from mom." And the sister, I don't remember if it's told now or later, but the sister left Rose alone with the mom.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to deal with the mom. And I think she was an alcoholic or something.
Yeah, I think the mom was.
And so she left Rose alone with the mom. And I don't remember when they like talk about this or bring it up, but Rose sees that like her mom, she didn't just walk in on her mom already dead. She walked in on her mom like as she's dying. And the mom's like asks for help, and then Rose runs away because she's scared.
Yeah.
And then so the sister arguing about that, and the sister's like, "I just can't deal with this. I'm done. You traumatized my son. I'm not dealing with this." And so Rose goes into her car, and I think the sister goes inside and then comes back out.
Yeah.
And then she walks up slowly to the car, and it has the best jump scare. You don't like this one? I like this one. The head comes out, and it's like she's smiling with the head upside down. That's a good one.
I guess it was okay.
You don't like that?
Like, it gave me a little bit, but I just knew Like they're not showing her face.
Yeah.
You know she's gonna be smiling.
I guess, yeah.
Like it's
You were
so
just
obvious.
anticipating every smile.
I guess. Yeah.
So then it cuts to that wasn't real, and the nephew's watching Rose freak out in her car.
Yeah. Oh, I thought they were gonna touch more on that.
I don't think so.
They never did.
And he got some trauma.
He did get some trauma. Yeah, that's what they were showing. They were just like, look how much trauma he has now.
Like, look how easy it spreads.
Oh.
So then, I think this is when she goes back to her ex, and then he's like, "There's someone who actually survived one of these events, but he's in jail. He killed someone." You can say that, I think.
All right.
You just can't say the other one, you know?
All right. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Tell YouTube that. But so this guy's in jail, which I forgot the actor's name. He kills it all the time.
Yeah.
And he's like,
he has a perfect reaction. So they go for him for information,
and he's like telling her about the monster and everything. And he's like telling her she's prying for information. He tells her the only way to get rid of it is to kill someone and make someone witness the traumas. So that's how the smile transfers to someone else.
Yeah. And then she lets slip that she has smiled.
Yeah.
And he's pissed.
And he's freaking out. He's like, "Get me out of here. Get me out of here."
Why would you bring her? Like, why would you come here? And I respect that. Like,
no, yeah, really.
Don't bring that in here. Don't bring that here.
That's wild. He already had to deal with it.
Yeah. That would suck. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, he could have got re-smiled.
Yeah. Damn.
And so, what did it go to next? This is where we're going towards the end. This is like we're in the game. This is her going back to the hospital, and she's like, she has a knife with her, and she's like, I gotta kill someone. So she goes to her patient Carl, and he's freaked out by her because she got him like beat up last time, and he's screaming for help. And so she brings out the knife and she's about to go stab him, and the boss comes in and she's like, "Perfect, someone to witness." And she's just stabbing him, and then he starts laughing, I think, while she's stabbing.
Yeah, like a maniac.
And then she's like, "What?" And then her boss rips his face off, and it cuts back to her in the car. And I'm like, all right.
Happened again. Another hallucination.
Yeah, I remember I didn't like the fake outs.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake outs. I don't think that scene really scared me. I don't think any of the fake outs really scared me.
That one was like the most, okay, you're hallucinating.
Yeah, because there's a fake out earlier, we probably skipped over, where she's talking to her therapist, and then you find out she's talking to the smile monster because her therapist calls her and she picks it up. And that one didn't scare me. Because that was another example.
That wasn't next.
They're just like, oh, is that next thing? Wow.
We actually might have skipped over it.
But so that's an example of the smile monster doesn't really do anything. And it's there.
It's just there. It just makes her hallucinate. Yeah, I think that therapist scene was actually probably the scene before this doctor scene. Where she comes home and she's like trying to figure out the case and everything with what's going on. And the therapist knocks on the door and she's like, "I'm sorry we left off like that the other day. I just wanted to talk about stuff." And then so they're sitting talking for a little bit, and then the phone goes off. Yeah. And she answers it, and the therapist is calling. And as she's listening to the therapist talking on the phone, the other one starts smiling. And that's why I was like, see, they don't always smile.
Yeah, they don't. I guess I could see, yeah. And it does start to become a little bit at that point of...
Do you think it should have been... I'm sorry that I cut you off. Do you think it should have been like people like talking to her in the situation happening, and then they grew the smile over them automatically just having the smile in like the beginning of the scenes.
I don't know if that would have made it.
No. But I didn't like the scene either. The therapist, like, she's like backing up. She goes, like, walks downstairs, and the therapist is just slowly following her with a smile on her face. And she like grabs her face, and she's like, there's like slime and spit coming out of her mouth.
Slime.
And I forgot what she's saying to her, but then it just cuts to I don't remember. Was she just sitting there? I don't remember where it cut to. It might have just cut to this.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
To the hospital.
Yeah. The smile slime though is, I think, a good lore bit that's like not really explained. I'm sure they'll explain it at some point in Smile 4. But I don't know. It's just like it's always got like slime coming from it. Anytime you see it, it's kind of like thirsty.
I really hope we get to 4.
Really?
Wow, I'm joking.
Damn. See, this is why I'm afraid. Oh, look, I'm this will look. I'll get in my sequel fears. Let's finish the movie. Let's finish the plot.
Yeah, let's finish the plot. Okay, so after the fake out with her killing the patient, she's still in her car with the knife, and her boss walks up and he's like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And she's like, "I'm good. I'm just going home." And then he sees the knife, and she drives away. And he's like, calls the police. And so now the police are looking at her. And she's driving back to her childhood home.
Yeah.
And
she calls her ex. She's like,
the ex calls her because he hears about the call. Yeah, like everyone's looking for her.
Yeah.
And
so he knows where she's going, right?
Yeah, I think so. She's like, She's like, I'm going back to my childhood home. But I'm doing this by myself. Don't come. And so she gets there. It's this old, broken down home, just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's nothing surrounding this house. It's like that field.
That was your childhood home. Where you guys go to school?
I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
Oh.
So she goes inside. She's looking.
And I don't think, not to nitpick, the house surely it hasn't been abandoned that long. Like, it is dilapidated.
Yeah, it's like 20 to 30 years, but it probably hasn't even been that long.
Right. Like, I don't know how old she's supposed to be in the movie. She's like 7 when it happened.
Yeah, well, it looks like it can be like 30 something.
Yeah. I guess I don't know how fast houses age.
I guess, and it has been just sitting there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're in the house, or she's in the house, and it's all like just horrible. It just looks disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, you see like the old bedroom with beds next to each other. And one of them, the mattresses are like gross and old.
Yeah. And then so I think it just turns into nighttime, and then she's hearing
and she's ready to face her trauma at this point.
Yeah, she's like
she's accepting that that's the problem.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta get over this. I'm gonna go to my childhood home and face my trauma with my mom because I let her smile herself. I mean, she didn't have a smile thing. The mom didn't have any smile thing,
as far as we know.
Yeah, but
it'll get retconned in Smile 4.
So she hears crying from the mom's room. She walks up and she sees her mom just crying. I think she I don't remember the whole dialogue. It's just her complaining about life, and then she complains about how she let the mom, or Rose let the mom die.
Yeah.
And she's saying all this shit. And Rose is like, no, I was trying to deal with you and how abusive you were, blah, 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 stuff like that. And then as they're fighting the monster, it's just the mom's slowly growing. And then she's backing up and she's like, I'm done with you. And she slams the door on it. And then it opens the door and it's this huge, like, mom creature.
Yeah, like big, long, like its limbs are like going up the hallway, and it's like, that was pretty creepy. I kind of like that monster design.
I think this came out like either the same month as Barbarian or around the same time as Barbarian.
Oh yeah.
So we had to deal with that twice.
True. Monster Moms.
Yeah, Monster Moms. But
See, now
what?
now it's compared to Barbarian.
Oh, I
The
don't think
Barbarian design, I think, was better. If we're gonna talk Monster Moms, I'm giving it to Barbarian.
there's better Monster Moms.
Yeah, but between these two,
You just don't like this one.
no.
I think later in the monster looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think at this point is that the monster's true? Because it pretty much stays in that form.
Yeah, it's saying in this huge form. It's like it's like over Rose, like saying stuff to her face, like they're face to face,
Yeah.
and it's just talking shit to her. And so Rose is like, "I'm over this," and she breaks the lantern and lights the her on fire, and then she runs out of the house.
Well, first she's like, you can't escape me, and then she's like, I can't escape you. This is my mind.
Yeah, she did that too.
Classic.
And I don't think that's its form. I think we see the true form of it. I think that's it starting to change back to its actual form.
That wasn't just like a hallucination just for her. Like the scariest thing is,
I think, like, yeah, that's a hallucination for her.
yeah. But like, did the first
Victim see like a giant?
Yeah.
No,
I don't think so. Because it's not smiling.
no,
It's
it's,
just
not.
creepy.
Yeah, oh no, it's not smiling.
It's not smiling.
So it's
Something to think about.
And so she runs out of the house. She goes to her ex's house and she's like apologizing for like leaving him.
Yeah, because
And,
she thinks she's escaped.
Yeah, she
She's
just
out of the house. She watches it burn down.
yeah, and she's like, she thinks she got rid of all the trauma. This is kind of fucked up when you really think about the messages of the movie. But she's like, I escaped my trauma. I'm apologizing to people. I'm just gonna try to do things better and like move on with life. And she's saying that, and she's like gonna give him another chance to be together. And then it starts fading dark. And he's like, yeah, you could stay here forever. And he starts smiling. I was like, yeah, they got her. And so she runs out the door as he's running after her. And it goes back to her running out of the house. But the house isn't on fire anymore. It's just normal. So then this is when the ex-boyfriend pulls up and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, no, stay away, because she doesn't want to pass the trauma. And so she runs back inside and the monster mom comes back and grabs her. And then she like opens her mouth and then you see this really horrible creature with like, was a bunch of mouths and shit.
Yeah, a bunch of smiles.
Just smiles and
She
stuff.
does have smiles. They're just in her head. Okay.
Yeah. And
She's like rows of
it looks really, it's horrifying. It's
that's
honestly,
pretty scary.
and it's practical. It's LA.
Oh, is it?
And then so it like opens her mouth and then it climbs inside of her, and yeah, she got smiled.
She got smiled.
And so
And then her ex-boyfriend runs in just in time.
yeah, for her to turn around with lighter fluid over her as she's lighting the lighter, or she's pouring the lighter fluid on herself with a big smile. She lights herself on fire, and now he has a smile.
Damn. Smile too. Okay, so is the message of the movie, even if you get over your trauma, if the smile monster is still gonna kill you?
I think they sacrificed the message for a good ending.
Yeah.
I think this ending part saved the movie. I feel like this last third was probably the best part of the movie.
I agree.
I feel like if they cut probably a decent part of the middle,
Yeah.
it would probably be a lot better of a movie.
Yeah, they could have edited the middle down.
How do you feel about it?
I guess sitting here talking about it, I think maybe I did like it more than I was letting on. I guess I just overall I thought it was too
Similar to other stuff.
too similar and kind of generic, and like it was trying to be everything. I kind of felt like it was written by ChatGPT, being honest. Where it was just like, because it is every type of horror movie,
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
like kind of mixed together, and it's like, I don't know.
I kind of agree with that, but I feel like the atmosphere and everything saves it a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe I think if it was shorter and the drama was a little better, because you lose. I feel like you don't remain scared during drama if you don't take the drama seriously.
No, we can't because no one believes her and she's just acting crazy.
Yeah. And that's kind of just frustrating to watch.
And we're like, you're acting crazy, so they're gonna think you're crazy.
Yeah. Maybe don't show up to your sister's house with 3 folders full of pictures of dead people.
Okay, what would you rate it?
I would say I give it 2 stars out of 5.
Okay. Oof. Damn. I would give it.
That might be a little harsh.
I'm gonna say a 3 right now. I think I was a little bit harsher last year, and I watched it a little more. I feel like it works in places where it works, but it's just so slow in other moments that it loses its fear.
Yeah, I agree.
But when it's like scary, it's scary.
Yeah,
It's pretty decent. Yeah. It's pretty like unsettling.
I guess.
It's just all right.
That could be your opinion.
Oh, whatever.
What are your Smile 2 predictions? What are we gonna learn? Okay, what's gonna happen to the ex-boyfriend? Is it gonna start with
It's gonna start with him dying, probably.
You don't think he's gonna show up in the middle and be like
A survivor?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that would be good if that happened. I would prefer that if he showed up in the middle. Because I feel like the ex-boyfriend, that actor, he's really good.
Yeah.
And he's done a lot of horror stuff, but he doesn't get enough time. He should star, like, be the main lead.
Yeah. What else is he in, do you know?
He was in the Friday reboot. And then he was in Halloween Kills. I think.
Is that the third one? No.
That's the second one. I want to say he's in the second.
I don't remember.
Or the third one. Like, I don't know. One of those. He's in one of those ones.
Okay. Second.
And he's in Scream 5.
So the second question. What other lore are we going to learn about the Smile Monster? What else are we going to learn about?
We're going to learn it's supernatural.
That is a real thing.
What?
As in, like, getting over your
like
trauma doesn't.
Magic or some shit like that. Or like ghosts or some shit.
Do you think the star of Smile 2 is going to make it out alive?
I hope not.
No.
I like her though. Naomi Scott, I think.
And do you think is she going to sing?
Yeah, she's gonna sing.
Okay.
She's a singer. She was on Lemonade Mouth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, do you think she's gonna sing?
No, I was worried she's not because it's not in the trailer. You know?
But I think there's probably gonna be a little bit of singing.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. Bye.
Hold up.